by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
He needs to have that scoring mentality. I certainly thought he had an opportunity to get a 20-point night tonight, and he was in attack mode. He's so athletic, so gifted in that area, and so good for us defensively every night. But when he can start producing for us, giving us another score, that certainly helps.
Rounded scoring today, which was a big night for our post, which is exciting to see. It really hasn't been that way, and so, that's what you start looking at coming into the long stretch of the season here is getting post and guards, and so hopefully it's a huge mental boost for everyone.
They've just been pretty resilient. They won the first two and then lost two in a row, lost in the championship game of the Katy tournament to Holcomb, which was a really good team.
Yeah, it's been super cool, fun. Just gotta, if you miss school, you gotta make it up. In basketball season, that's what I'm most focused on right now. It's great to come and have coaches talk, but it's hoop season and we're getting after it. We're 7-1. We're gonna keep that up.
On 4th down and 2, nowhere to go. He's hit. It's Raider football. The conductor with a sack for a turnover on downs.
It's always, especially in the postseason, that's always a bitter pill to swallow, and yet it'll go down, and then it's got to fuel you and light a fire in the direction we need to go.
It's not when you're winning Super Bowls, or it's not when you're 7-1 or 10-1, because then everybody's waving towels and everybody's happy and they're excited to come to work. But when you get hit in the mouth or you're down, or the chips are against you, then you can take a snapshot of what your company or your team looks like.
They've had the recipe the entire time, and it's defense. For them to continue to play the kind of defense that they've been playing, they've got everything. And I think in as much as we focus on Will Howard, we focus on Jeremiah Smith, rightfully so, Travion Henderson, it's the defense that I think will ultimately win them a national championship if they can get past Notre Dame.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. It's a Tuesday show here. Steve Webster with you. Mike Corson and our executive producer, Landon Winkler, for the program today. On the show, Voice the Cougars, Cole Reif will be on. I don't know what we'll talk about. I start off wanting to talk about Barton basketball. We eventually get to that, but sometimes things develop like that, like last week. The top 10 all dirtiest players in Duke basketball history. I was just thinking ranking the top 3, but then after we started discussing it, it went 10 deep. Great discussion with Cole Reif. The voice of the Panthers, Steve Webster.
Who?
He'll be in studio. He'll be talking with Mike Corson about the Great Bend Panthers and their game against Garden City Friday night. And a trip to the Salt Hawk Activity Center. Salt Hawk Activities, the SAC. Or would it be the Shack? Salt Hawk Activity Center.
Salt Sack.
Wouldn't it be? Couldn't you go Shack? Salt Hawk?
Just call it the Salt and Pepper Shaker.
That's too long, though. That's a good thought.
The Shaker.
I think I've got a new name. It's the Shack. Salt Hawk, and I'm going to take both those. SHAC. Shack. Anyway, that's where the Panthers will be on Friday when they take on Hutchinson. And Mike Corson goes on the prowl for Panther Sports. But there will not be a prowl today because no one got back with Mike to prowl about. And I just wanted to, because Mike works very hard on that to get connected with people to do it. But so if you don't hear a particular sport on the air, I'm just saying, don't sit there, well, you just don't like those other sports.
He's lazy.
No, that's not the case at all. So that's what's on. Oh, Tuesday sports headlines. We got some interesting numbers later on in the program. We're going to play a little game with Mike Corson. You like games?
Love games.
Yeah, so this will be a good exercise for us to find out who spends the most money on NIL or just paying athletes. We don't have any official numbers on that, but a story from CBS Sports, and they ranked, they talked, I don't know how many coaches, we'll run down that later, about who they think is spending the most money on paying players. Okay? It'll
like
be fun.
that.
So I'd like to match it, and then we'll match it with who's in the top 25.
It's probably 8, maybe 9 figures, but we don't know.
We don't know. It's
a wild west.
It's the wild, wild west. All right, let's get to our sounds the past 24 hours or so. We're going to have a lot of these games, like on Mondays, Thursdays, even Wednesday we had last week, because teams are making up games from, I didn't know we named winter storms now. I had no idea. So it was Snowstorm Blair that we had last week?
So that was our second one? Are they doing the ABCs?
I don't know if it's national. My wife said, yeah, this storm's name is Blair. What?
I think Deb just named it. Do we confirm that it was at a national level? Or?
Well, I don't think she knows anybody really nasty named Blair.
Cold-blooded.
And I don't remember an A coming through. Do you?
I don't remember a snow coming through. And we just started 2025.
Yeah, so there'd have to be another A, and then maybe I don't know. But because of that, there were a lot of cancellations. One of those was last Tuesday, a week ago today, to put time in perspective, because we need to do that, was Hoisington at Smoky Valley. Well, they made that up last night, and the Hoiston boys and girls came away with victories. That was Kyle Haxton, head coach of the Cardinals, talking about Mason Martin, who scored a game-high 22 points last night, as the Cardinals pulled away down the stretch, one big, 56-33. Kyle Haxton's Cardinals are 3-4 on the season. They'll be right back in action tonight against those Heston Swathers that roll into the Activity Center.
What do you know? They're really good this year.
They are indeed, and it'll be an interesting matchup in late February when that same Heston team comes calling at the Panther Fieldhouse. Ooh, down the road a little bit. The next to last game of the regular season. Trina Luters said she was happy with getting post-production last night. Got 17 from Ellie Crawford, 14 from Kelsey Meyer, as the Lady Cardinals won 54-50. Now, this was a 35-20 game at one point. Well, it got a little bit tight late. Smoky Valley cut the lead down to 51-48. Cardinals able to hang on. Again, Hoisington boys and girls back in action tonight. 5:45 pregame on 100.7 Eagle Country.
I say on the Heston girls, kind of picked them to win Class 3A. They were really good last year. Thought they might win it then. Didn't lose anybody. So they got one of the premier players in the state with the Bruggen girl and probably the best athlete in the state with the Lehman girl.
But they've got company in that Central Kansas League. You get 2 and 3 right in the same league, including one team that I've seen play this year is Haven.
And then you got another one in another division, so yeah.
Hillsboro.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gary Wagner talking about the Larned High School Indians, who are playing for the first time since December 20th tonight. They had their game canceled with Ellsworth last Tuesday. Didn't have a game scheduled on Friday. They will take on Nickerson tonight. Girls 3-3. Gary Wagner, voice of the Indians, likes their resiliency they've shown so far. Nickerson just 1-5 on the season. Larned boys, they're also 3-3 on the season, and they'll got a good opportunity to go 4-3 tonight. That Nickerson team they'll play also 1-5. Gary and Buddy with the call tonight on Hits 106.9. Other games tonight. In the Western Athletic Conference, Liberal will play at Garden City. Both those teams looking to pick up their first WAC victories. And Hayes will be at Emporia tonight in an interesting matchup. We're going to start focusing a little bit more on Hayes as we get closer. I think it's pretty apparent right now. It's Hayes and Grape Bend battling for the Western Athletic Conference title, although I haven't seen Dodge City yet. But Dodge City's had a couple of decent wins. So that's tonight. That's a makeup. Those two teams were supposed to play on Friday, didn't get it done. Other games tonight, Central Prairie League, St. John at Ellenwood.
Circle that one.
Central Plains at Sterling tonight. Central Plains taking on the 7th-ranked Maxville Mustangs and winning Saturday 53-50. Now they've got a different beast called the Sterling Black Bears on the boys' side, who are continuing to be ranked number 2 in Class 2A. Their only loss, they let a 6-point lead slip in the last 2 minutes, and Great Bend came back and got them at the King Medigal Classic. Ellis is at La Crosse tonight, Kinsley at Otis Bison, Chase at Maxville, Spearville at Ness City, Victoria at Golden Plains. I believe they're still located in Rexford.
Correct.
Stafford at home tonight. They'll take on Fairfield. Pawnee Heights heads south to Ashland. You can see the entire schedule on GreatBendPost.com.
Circle back to the Ellenwood girls, St. John, real quick. Ellenwood, obviously that unbeaten run they're on, but Coach Maxwell knows that they'll run into a bit of that buzzsaw defense that Danny Smith runs. And how many times in 2A girls basketball will you see a couple 6-footers go? So Schlesinger from Ellenwood and Reed from St. John be a nice post matchup.
I'm just wondering how good Little River is again. I figured they'd run out sometime.
No, I think they actually got...
This 49-21 over St. John. That score just continues to amaze me from last week. Ian Premer talking about how you handle in-school visits from Michigan. A visit by Iowa State football coach Matt Campbell from Iowa State, who was at the game on Friday night. Oh, and then turning around going to K-State on Saturday for a recruiting visit for not only football but basketball. Time allotment, got to make up those classes, got to make sure you stay ahead of your schoolwork, and make sure the Great Bend Panthers continue to win. They're 7-1.
So what's that? You're doing your math and the phone rings. Teacher, Ian, I need you to go to the office.
Don't you have to get your phone out of one of those bags or what?
No, they call the teachers. Can you send Ian to the office? Who is it? A Sabin? Nick Sabin?
Nick Sabin is here to see you. I wonder if Matt Campbell has to ring the bell when he comes up to the front door of Great Bend High School.
I asked, and I say this with all due respect because he's probably my favorite coach in the country. Like, he was on the Great Bend sideline, I believe, at a football game prior to that, and I asked somebody, was he chewing his gum? Because at an Iowa State game, he is burning calories right and left.
So he was at a football game earlier this season.
I think so,
well,
yeah.
Okay. Ooh, 2 visits to Great Bend. Okay.
He's interested.
So Ian Premer and the Panthers, 7-1, ranked 10th in Class 5A. New polls aren't out yet. I just checked. See if Panthers move up. Hutchinson plays Valley Center tonight. Valley Center is 7-1. So we'll kind of get – I think Hutch is really good. I think Friday's game, even more so than Haven, will be the Panthers' biggest test of the season so far. Okay, so new rankings coming out later today. College basketball tonight in the Big 12. K-State will try to stop its 3-game losing streak. They'll take on Texas Tech tonight. K-State 1-3. They need to get this win. They go to KU on Saturday for a nationally televised game on CBS right before the Chiefs.
And word is one Ian Premer will be probably behind the KU bench at that game.
Will he now?
That's the word.
Okay, he's got to take care of business on Friday night. Wichita State, they're home tonight against the Charlotte 49ers. Wichita State 10-6, but 0-3 in the American Athletic Conference. That's at Koch Arena tonight. Tomorrow night, KU takes on Iowa State in Ames in a 6 o'clock tip-off. That's on ESPN2. Hits 106.9. We'll have the coverage for you starting at 5:30. Other games in the Big 12 tonight, Oklahoma State at BYU. Baylor's at Arizona. UCF is at Arizona State. New rankings are out. Auburn, number 1, followed by Iowa State, who is number 2. Duke 3, Alabama 4, Florida 5, Tennessee 6, Marquette 7, Kentucky 8, KU 9, Houston is 10, thanks to their 30-point win over the Wildcats on Saturday. On the women's poll, Kansas State ranked 11th this week. They moved up 1 spot. The NFL wildcard round came to an end last night. Call on 710 ESPN LA. Kobe Turner sacked Sam Darnold in the third quarter. The Rams' 27-9 beatdown of the Vikings. 9 sacks in the game last night for the Rams of quarterback Sam Darnold, who was the darling of everybody. They said, man, how do you bounce back from that? but it always goes back. It's kind of one of those childhood, cartoons. Well, cartoons, animated movies, probably be the better way to put it, of a girl who has two mean sisters, and she gets a chance to go to the ball. But the fairy godmother only gave her until midnight to get home. When she didn't, those handsome guys that were driving the cart, everything like that, they turned into rats, and she turned back into the little old maid. So is Sam Darnold Cinderella in this case after games against the Lions and last night?
It's also his head coach was kind of the darling there. I don't think with that big quarterback switch that Minnesota was picked to do anything and to run the league like that, it'll be interesting because Darnold had been pretty quiet in New York, but so was everybody else.
Matthew Stafford, everyone just kind of he won a Super Bowl, and they just kind of dismiss him.
And McVay was supposed to be the next big thing, and he had the quick run, and then he kind of faded off, but can never count him out. We thought early in the season they weren't going to make the playoffs, and here they are.
Okay, Rams now go on the road in Philadelphia on Sunday. All right, Sean Payton, what's next for the Broncos? Well, we lose this game. The lesson here is we need to host these games. Well, that would mean at least getting a better record or winning the AFC West, which I think is going to be a fascinating division next year.
The Associated Press just ran a story last night, this morning.
They're kind of dismissing the
Great Bend Post and says, hey, look at those scores. Maybe they're not as close to the Chiefs as we or they think they are.
Maybe not now, but now they're going. They've won the $20K Christmas cash giveaway from Eagle Radio because they've got some money to spend right now, and they'll even have more in 2026. Okay, so the Broncos head into the offseason. They're in the top 10 in the NFL, available cap space, even with $35 million in dead cap from the Russell Wilson deal. That's still hanging over them. I thought they got rid of that this year. But they still have $35 million this year above the cap. Then Wilson's contract completely comes off the books in 2026. They're going to have a rookie quarterback. So the thing is now, can the Payton and the Paytons, the general manager Payton, shop wisely? Do you go into the offseason with an empty stomach where you go in there and you see the first powdered donut sack on the side and, oh, that looks good, let me load that up? Yeah, just because you have cap space, now you got to go out and spend it wisely and get the players you need. But how can you go wrong with that much money?
Studies show the kids who don't eat the one donut and wait for the box of donuts succeed in the long run. But do they need to shore up defense? I was thinking defense. I saw a lot of high scores, but then you look 7 points in the wild card game.
Their pass rush is very, very good. We'll have to have Josh Yeka, the Denver Bronco insider from Timken, join us on the program. He knows more about that Bronco team than anyone else I know. So we'll see. Okay, Ohio State, Notre Dame. The line is 8.5 on this game right now. Dusty Dvorak says Ohio State's path to a national championship will run through their defense. I can see that. Notre Dame, I kind of got smitten a little bit by Marcus Freeman, the Fighting Irish, their game against Penn State. I'm kind of rooting for them. But since the dumpster has been shut down after catastrophic losses during the football betting season.
Not my fault. You want to double down?
We're funding it. It'll get back a little bit closer here, but what's your line on this game?
See, 3 weeks ago I would have said Ohio State 18.5. But Notre Dame has unfortunately looked vaguely impressive. So 8.5 seems about right. So just to get some action out there, let's push it at 9.5. But
it's closed down though.
There's people at the dumpster. That line never stops.
Well, the snow's starting to get out of there a little bit too, so you can navigate down through that area a little bit more. But
Because logically, what are they going to do? Go for 2? No, they're going to win by a touchdown and a field goal, so 9.5.
But then I start thinking about it. What do you think? I mean, is Notre Dame dynamic enough on offense to?
3 weeks ago, before the playoffs, I would have said weak schedule, terrible loss, but that was early in the season. But the fact that they've looked basically kind of dominant against the allegedly best teams in the country now, it's hard to discount
Indiana,
at this
Penn
point.
State.
But I think Penn State was pretty physical team.
Yeah. Okay. 8.5. All right. We'll have Monday's national championship game right here on KVGB, starting at 5:30 with coverage from ESPN. Okay. Sounds the past 24 hours. Again, Mike Corson's going to play a little game with us. Sports headlines coming up. Next, Cole Reif coming in on the program as Barton gets set to take on the Pirates of Independence tomorrow night at the Kirkman Center. Our show brought to you in part by the Great Bend Rec Commission, dedicated to improving the community and the lives of its individuals. Animal Medical Center, large or small, they take care of them all. And Equity Bank, here when you need them. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. It's Sports Day on KVGB.
If you're needing a health care plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
Jumpstart your education with Barton Online. You can pick up a class or earn an associate degree for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling. Start when it works for you. Choose from 5 sessions throughout the semester, including 16, 8, and 4-week options. Save big on the way toward your career or tackle your gen eds with our low-cost pathway. Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
Guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
C&E Doors, this is Cindy.
Mima, I passed my math test.
Great job, Hadley. I knew counting all those parts in our huge inventory would help out.
Don't forget about the springs.
That's right. We have the most in-stock springs of anyone in western Kansas.
Well, I don't know if our inventory is making me smarter or just giving me a headache.
Garage doors, service, and repairs at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
He's the voice of Hoisington High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Reif on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Cole Reif with us now on the show. It's brought to you by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison. And the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, featuring number 2 clear diesel, bulk fuel, E10, fuel delivery, and all your lubricants and farm supplies. Cole Reif joining us right now. I guess we could have spent time on what Mike Corson wanted to talk about, but probably we'll just leave that one alone right now, Cole, and move on. So, wait. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, just save that conversation for a rainy day or a snowy day.
Now, the AM Great Bend show, that's sometimes we get a little bit slow on topics. Okay, Barton goes to Colby last weekend. They get a couple of wins. What are you thinking when the game was 25-12 at halftime with the Lady Cougars down by 13? And I know you're the home play guy and everything, but okay, you scored 12 in the first half and you're down by 13 at the break. What was your confidence level at that point? middle of the Jayhawk women's standings is just packed with teams. I mean, you talk about, okay, we've got, let's see, 7-3-7. Then you get 6-4, 6-4, 6-5, 5-5, 4-7, 3-7. So Barton gets a win tonight. Now, of course, they've got Coffeyville coming in, but, I mean, that's, manageable, you would think. But Barton could get to 4-7 with a win against Independence tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, every win right now for Barton, I mean, you can say this year in and year out, even when you're good, but right now, every win for yeah, well, I mean, Vivian can get her own share, but then Vivian on the other side is about a 30% free throw shooter on the season. So she's getting to the free throw line a decent amount. And even Barton as a team isn't shooting great at the free throw line. But, Vivian is the big one because she's constantly going to that foul line. Indy right now.
0-9 and 1-14. But they did get outscored by Dodge City by only 3 points in the second half Saturday night.
After trailing by 22 at halftime.
Listen, Fort Hays Tech Northwest got beat 104 to 28. So, I mean, you got to keep it close. Okay, one of the top games in the country coming up Saturday. Number 1 ranked Hutch against number 3 ranked Dodge City. Okay, go around number 1. What do you think?
I like Dodge. And I think I've said that a few times already here on the show. But, I think Dodge, offensively, they're really tough to stop. I mean, because they can shoot the three at a high clip. 4 of their 5 players on the floor pretty much at all time can shoot the three, but they get to the free throw line a decent time. I might give the slight edge to defensively to Hutchinson, but I just think Dodge's ability to score puts a lot of pressure on you, and then they have the length defensively to cause some problems, and they'll match up well with Hutch. So, but Hutch is so smart. John Onch's been doing this for a long time. I mean, Landon Steele is really good, but I mean, that coaching staff in general for Hutch is really good. So, I mean, that'll be, if you like women's basketball, I mean, that's must-see basketball coming up on Saturday.
Okay, on the men's side, Independence right now goes into the game tomorrow night, king of the have-nots. Okay, and there's a lot of have-nots right now because on the men's side, in top heavy. So Independence 3-6, Cloud, Dodge, Garden 3-7, Tex 2-8, Seward 1-9, Pratt's right there on the verge of falling into the have. This is a game the Barton men need to take advantage of too.
Yeah, definitely not looking past.
Still having, I mean, this will be the end of the first round robin in league play. What these players think when they come here. I mean, we've watched the Jayhawk League my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I know who's these teams are. Yeah, Independence. You think any of the guys on the team know? Yeah, Independence used to be there. The coach was Bob Cavisto. They used to be really. What do they look at? I mean, Reif with us on that. We've got that plastic football over there. If I held that plastic football down right now, would you kick it and not think? I mean, would you kick the football on Notre Dame Monday?
Notre Dame. Yeah, at this point, any team that gets to a championship game, I don't care what route it was. You mentioned Penn State and who they played before, Indiana. Yeah. You get to this point, you're fine. To get to this point, that's the struggle. If you're kind of like a Notre Dame that there's question marks on, but now that you're there, yeah, you're fine. And my boy Leonard's playing. He's a former Duke player, transferred over this year. So, he's leading the Irish. So
really?
I have actually a small
that is scary.
interest.
Now, okay, all right, that changes it again because I had actually gone into that game. I'm going to, for the first time in my entire life, rooting for Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
That just threw it out right there.
Okay. It's Duke football, right? It's not like it's a powerhouse.
The lineage is there. It's like he's got Hatfield blood in him. Okay.
Yeah, but it'd be weird. At this point, though, as well, there are a lot of question marks in Ohio State. You talk about, head coach, just players in general. Now, you're sitting good.
How would you like to be 44-1 against everyone else in the Big Ten? Except Michigan, and
still be questioned,
and they're wanting to roll you out.
Yeah, man, standards are high.
Man, you just talk about gosh, stress level we have around here. Well, God, is the phone going to work tonight? Well,
it works about 75% of the time.
All right,
yeah.
well, we're working on it. Cole, thanks.
Yeah, you bet.
Cole Reif joining us here on Sports Day. We're going to talk Great Bend Panther basketball when we come back.
From the Mail Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Reif, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Sports, leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
When you're a farmer, water can be a blessing or a curse. Expected rain? Good. Water in your engines? Bad. What do I trust to fuel my equipment? Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster, a premium diesel fuel that keeps contaminants from clogging filters, ruining fuel injectors, and tanking fuel efficiency better than any formula that's come before. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster, fueled by innovation, powered to perform.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Hey, welcome back to Sports Day. Also brought to you by Marmy's, the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Mike Corson joined. He's been sitting here the whole time. Voice of the Panthers, Steve Webster.
Great to be here again, Mike. Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for coming in. I braved the weather last week. Here you are again. Heard you talk about, we'll talk about the Open for the Panther boys Friday against Garden City. 25 points, maybe 11 to 14 shooting. Where is it the best team in the state, and how do you get 32 minutes of that?
When they play like that, yeah, I don't know. I've tried to figure it out. I asked you that yesterday. I asked Jim Mizunas that because, man, at times they can look dynamite. I think it all comes down to scoring points off turnovers, second chance points, which they've been awesome on. No one's really tried to control tempo on them as much except Haven, Sterling. Other teams just haven't had the players to be able to do that. The 1-3-1 defense, I love that defense with this lineup, but I don't know if they've got it perfected yet. You just got to keep doing it because Garden City did start to find some holes in that defense. And I'm not talking about, the corner three or whatever it's going to be, but, getting the ball quickly, not holding it. They got Longa from Garden City, got a couple easy looks underneath. I don't know. Because that is their best defense. I don't know if you want to go. I would like to see them play Haven again. They barely played 1-3-1 defense against Haven. But I think it's going on, well, these guys play it all the time. They're going to know how to attack it. I don't know. But they are a better 1-3-1 team than they are man-to-man. I know Kyle likes to mix it up a little bit. It's hard. We're only 8 games in. I think we're going to find out a lot about this team coming up on Friday. Hutchinson's going to be – they are going to be ready to go for this game. Great Bend lost to them last year in Great Bend and then came back, I think it was a 10 or 11-point game, and then Great Bend just ran them out of town in the sub-state championship game. I think Hutchinson's going to be motivated. They do have some players back to plate on that team, including the point guard, Terrell King, who's a pretty good ball player. So he's been there. He's a 3-year starter. I think they're going to be very motivated. It'll be interesting tonight to see what they do against Valley Center. I think they'll win. Hutchinson's only 3-1. They haven't played. This will be their first game to break, too. They've had 2 games postponed due to weather. So I wish this would snow tonight, and then Great Bend could get them. It'd be their first game since mid-December. Big game, though, Friday night. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and the flip side of a 25-11 quarter was most of Great Bend's points, I think, almost came out of transition, so it's not like they controlled possession. So they also held a 6A opponent to 11 points in the first quarter. And I think it was that first quarter, early second quarter, quite a few turnovers before maybe started getting a little too physical. But how important is that defensive? I think Great Bend's going to score points all season, so how big is kind of shoring up that defensive side, just whether it's keeping off the contact or...
I think not fouling is going to be a big thing. That helped Garden City get back in it, didn't you think? They shot a bunch of free throws in that second quarter.
And they were terrible shooters, or it would have been even closer.
Right. And then they started making free throws, clock stopped, and then you kind of slow things down a little bit. And it's one of those, it's a balancing act because in that 1-3-1, you got Nicholson out there, you got Premer on the wing, you've got Dax Minton out there on the wing. Jacob Hall back in there, and Omott's a tremendous player to have on the backside of that defense. And they can get you in some jams if you hold the ball, but when you've got them in that double team, man, you just cannot foul. You just cannot foul, and it's an art. I think they've got a lot better at it since the beginning of the season. But, yeah, points off turnovers is going to be big for this team this year.
And just for entertainment value, you got the pep band up there, top 1, 2, 3 in the state. So it's just a good time, but the people prove that, and it's like somebody said, well, the dancers were there, so that helped fill the crowd. But, no, I think they also came to watch basketball.
Crowd, yes.
In the winter, in the weather. So do you recall, we've both watched a lot of high school basketball, and I've got, it sticks out to me because I got to film highlights. Well, what's a highlight in high school basketball? The dunk. So you can't turn your camera off the entire game for Great Bend. Do you recall a team where there's almost this anticipation buzz that any play could go for something spectacular all night.
Maybe Martin Lewis when he played for Liberal back in like 1990. I don't ever remember a high school team dunking as much. I mean, it's and the kids get into it. I mean, they like to throw a lob up there. They're looking to do that, and entertainment value. Absolutely. Keep coming out because you don't know what you're going to see.
Yeah, they're all very athletic, quick kids. So the roar that starts to build when there's a tip, like, oh, who's leading? Yes. Who's leading? And are they going to get the I just...
Yeah, do you see the crowd rise in unison as they're coming down, for a normal high school layup?
Yeah, it's a different thing. So kudos to the people who are coming out because they know, and I think that's why they keep coming out. But if you haven't seen them in person... This is what Great Bend High School was like 2002, 2003 when the place was rocking. Girls side, I had them starting 1 of 19. Kind of knew coming in shooting might be an issue, but now you're 8 games into the season. How do you improve that? I mean, you see the boys shooting 51% clip. Do you just have to find those better percentages? Or like she says, the pick sixes, but yeah, 1 for 19, it's going to be tough to bounce back from that, which they almost did for a while.
Well, Michaela Minn's going to add a lot to this. She's got 2 games under her belt. I expect her to play a lot on Friday. I kind of mentioned it last week. I want to see what the rotation is going to be. Because they were behind Garden City 18-15. And then, of course, Mia Hannigan goes off and hits 8 3-pointers in the third quarter. You do need to guard her. I mean, you need to have awareness where she's at on the court. But they were right in that game. They were behind Liberal by 3 points with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half, and then a huge run by Liberal just blew the game open. Yeah, this Hutch team's, they're pretty good too, 3-1. But I would say this will be the best team they have played other than Haven this year. So I want to see what Hutchinson's going to do tonight. So,
and I haven't got to watch all 8 games. Was that Minton's first varsity action coming back from injury, or she sneak in?
She played at Liberal. Didn't play any varsity that night. She played just completely JV and then played 3 quarters of JV on Friday night. Skilled player. I mean, she's the biggest thing I like about Michaela. She's got basketball IQ. I mean, you'll see a head and shoulder fake from her, and she'll go to the basket.
Yeah, varsity volleyball player as a freshman. Yeah. I think she's going to stand out this spring on the track. So it didn't score a whole bunch Friday against Garden City, but several rebounds in that don't always make the stories, but it was definitely a solid effort for first varsity action.
Yeah, I had 3 rebounds in the game. So I tell you, the girl that just continues to impress is Meredith Mazook. She picked up a couple fouls in that first quarter or the first half and spent some time on the bench. But, man, she's been nailed since coming in and becoming the starting lineup. Had 17 against Liberal. And I think there's a kid you can, get better around. So that's what we're going to be looking at Great Bend Lady Pat. How much can they improve by the end of the season, I think?
And how big, I think free throws are going to be a big part of Mazook's game. So given her size, maybe her quickness, I don't think anybody's going to feel sorry for Cassie Elligood banging around inside, but you got that little point guard that can draw contact. How big a part of that game is that going to be for her?
Well, it's huge. I mean, she shot 15 free throws against Liberal. I think she shot 6 the other night. So I think in that total, she's almost has 1/3 of the free throw attempts for the team this year in 2 games.
And a pretty nice shooter when she gets there.
I want to see the 3-point shot, but that's something that I think she'll develop. I think she's a good shooter, especially when you see her stroke from the free throw line. So here we go.
And then we're coming up on the Salina tournament. So yeah, it's bang, bang, bang. You get the mid-season tournament. And then, we're already almost halfway done. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, but it will really change because I was looking at it. Let's see. They've got 6 games in 9 days.
That didn't used to happen.
Yeah, because it's going to go, then next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then they'll play on a Tuesday, and then they'll play on a Friday. So that's 5 games, right? 5 games in 9 days.
So you also have 5 games in 9 days.
I'm not looking at it from, kids are young. They can do that. I don't know, having radio announcers having to do 5 games in 9 days. There's a lot of preparation, Mikey.
A lot of Casey's Pizza.
Okay, all right. Mike Horst is going to stay with us. Mike's going to play a little game with us right now. Who do the college coaches think spending the most on paying players, or NIL, what it's officially called, this year in college basketball. Sports Day rolling on after this.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, and today we want to give a shout out to all the supporting cast at these basketball games. We have some great young men and young women on the court, but we also have some great young men and women playing their instruments, cheering, dancing, all those things. Let's clap for them. When they perform and get done, let's show them a round of applause, show them some love as well, because they deserve it. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of Your Local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Hey, I'm Brett Podolsky, co-founder of The Farmer's Dog. We make fresh food for dogs. We started the company when we saw what a huge difference it made in my own dog, Jada, when she stopped eating ultra-processed kibble and started eating fresh, whole food. The Farmer's Dog food isn't fancy. It's just real food, delivered to your door in pre-portioned packs. It's better for them and easier for you.
Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/trial50. That's thefarmersdog.com/trial50.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
All right, Mike Corson. Let's see. This from CBSSports.com. Few coaches try to pretend they're completely sure what to believe as it pertains to what schools are spending on NIL, what players are getting in NIL. Now, so what they did, they polled 100 college basketball coaches the following question. Which 3 programs do you believe have the best NIL situations? Because that was the question. Team percentage of ballots, teams appeared on.
Duke.
Okay, Duke. I'm going to mark that off. Duke, surprisingly, comes in at number 13, 8.4%.
And they might have little standards with their recruiting. UConn.
UConn is right behind Duke.
Nobody wants to go to the Northeast. Kansas.
Kansas checks in at number 2, 43.2%.
SEC loves its money. How about some Tennessee?
Tennessee is on the list, but down at number 16.
No Auburn?
No Auburn on there. Thank you. That was ranked number 1 in the country. And Bruce Pearl, no.
Job is lost.
Okay.
How about West Coast? Money out there like a USC or UCLA?
No.
Just the prestige of playing?
So, okay, we're just having...
Michigan State.
Nope. Okay, here's the top 4. Arkansas, Kansas, BYU, Kentucky. Number 6, Indiana. You know who number 7 is? Kansas State.
Ouch.
13.7, followed by Baylor, Louisville, Alabama, and Illinois. Texas Tech checks in at number 11. Texas is 17. So
that's interesting with Kentucky and Arkansas being 2 of the top 4. You got Calipari ties on both those. And then, I hate to say this, but do the folks in Manhattan get their money back?
I don't know.
There's decentive clauses that says if you don't win half your games.
Number 6, Kansas State, 13.7%.
I thought it would be more along the lines of who was paying them. Was it insurance companies, car companies, food companies? Who is benefiting the most from advertising with these kids? I've seen those 3 I would think would be the biggest.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Sports Day almost done here on KVGB.
Take your passion for creating magic behind the curtain to new levels with Barton Community College's Technical Theater program. This new program is designed for students to learn how to create breathtaking light shows, run a state-of-the-art soundboard, and build captivating sets. Unleash your creativity and earn an associate's degree to build the skills you need for a career in theater. Now enrolling for the fall semester. Learn more at techtheater.bartonccc.edu.
All right, that's going to do it for the show today. Coming up tomorrow, we will be talking Great Bend Lady Panther basketball. Jade Winter will be in with Jill Reimer and senior Jordan Harbaugh. Also, Sterling hosting Central Plains tonight. Boys coach Michael Ryan joining us on the show tomorrow. And also, voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock, Wednesday Sports